So Lutnick feels very comfortable in this environment because they bought the White House. So Lutnick feels very comfortable in this environment because this particular group within the broader Silicon Valley, for example, hosted a dinner in California where they sat Trump down next to J.D. Vance, and they explained to Trump, this is your vice president. They created Mr. Vance, who came out of their finance world.
Right.
So this is a group that is very heady right now. They're intoxicated with their wealth and their power. They have it. They own the media. They own the White House. They own the AI. The Pentagon is desperately after them. So there's a kind of intoxication of power right now. And that's why a Secretary of Commerce would go on a show and just casually make a statement. Hey, I don't have to be careful. I run the world, and I'm with my friends, and we're the small group that runs the world. So the mindset shows. Second, to say, well, the relations between the two giant economies of the world fell apart because the Prime Minister didn't make a phone call. It's, of course, absurd. And at the same time, maybe even real. Real in the sense that it's not a false statement, but a measure of how unreal our reality is right now. We have a narcissism in Trump and a power in the executive branch to do things by executive decree, by presidential order, that's extraordinary. Instead of systems, negotiation, diplomacy, technical working groups, the Prime Minister should have made a call. So I don't even dispute the statement, but what I would underscore is how completely bizarre it is, and how it shows the collapse of any systematic governance in the United States right now. Things that are happening, attacking Venezuela, leaving UN agencies. This is the work of a small group of people, depending on a base in the U.S. of maybe a third of the population or so, that thinks they can do things on their own, and they're testing every limit to see if there are any remaining limits. Then there is the substance of all of this. What kind of trade deal is the United States capable of making a trade deal? You look at the way that India has been completely and arbitrarily abused this year. 25% reciprocal tariff, 25% penalty for buying oil from Russia when everybody is buying oil from Russia, but we want to punish India for this in particular. And then specific sectors, steel and others, hit by the United States. And then just this past week, Trump saying, I'll go along with my least favorite senator in the United States, Lindsey Graham, who is really a not nice man, not a smart man, completely irresponsible, wants to put maximum pressure on Russia. And so now we're hearing about 500% tariffs that are going to be slapped on India. This is what a phone call was supposed to be about? The United States.
And a phone call when we were literally at war with Pakistan.
Didn't Trump end that war?
Trump ended that war. And that became an issue that we couldn't actually, that became a diplomatic crisis of its own, that he's saying it in the war. So then it was more loaded for Modi to make that phone call. Lots of things you said, and we can go many directions here. But one thing that you've always said is this military-industrial complex that America, the American economy, the American sort of political system actually is catering to and living for. Is Silicon Valley part of that complex, or is it now something? Is there an addition to it now? What is the relationship between Silicon Valley and?
That's the new thing, actually. The advent of AI in weaponry And it's pervasive, of course. It's pervasive for intelligence, for geospatial intelligence. It's absolutely fundamental for autonomous weapons, for the drone warfare that is being, quote, perfected in Ukraine and in Gaza right now. The Pentagon, which used to kind of run the show, and the old guard major military contractors, Raytheon or Boeing, General Dynamics and so forth, they're now taking a back seat to Musk, obviously, SpaceX, which does the heavy lifting of the Pentagon's needs in space, to Palantir for facial identification to kill people, and for many, many other things. And so my feeling is that we have now a military-industrial digital complex. Silicon Valley is extremely powerful in this because the Pentagon does not have in-house capacity. So everything is being contracted out, and all the big tech companies now have this extraordinary position. They dominate their sector. They are all centibillionaires in US dollars. They own the mass media, control the daily discourse, whether it's on X or whether it's on Facebook or whether it's on actually the old guard media like Bezos's ownership of the Washington Post, or Ellison's increasing media empire. So they own the mass media. They bought the White House. They have the inside track on the White House. They have the security state basically begging them for the technology, the contracts, the help. It's an extraordinary amount of power and an extraordinary giddiness. And they're also personally enriching the president and his family at the same time that he is enriching them. So there's a personal angle in all of this as well. I can't remember an analogy. I don't think that J.P. Morgan or Vanderbilt or Rockefeller, though they were as rich can be, had anything like the commanding power of this group. I should add one more obvious point, which is that they watch every keystroke we make, and they listen to every word that we utter, whether it's through our watch or through our phone. And so the surveillance and the loss of privacy is also pervasive. So what an incredible combination of forces that has suddenly come on the scene in the last 10 years. It is completely unaccountable. I don't know how it operates in any detail, though I try, but you can see it pervasively everywhere.
But I don't think that publicly it seems as if they're all on the same page, right? I mean, maybe like just that one dinner, that famous dinner where, Mark Zuckerberg was caught with a hot mic and, saying, I hope that was okay, that that was an incredible moment for everybody. But, Google, Meta, not the Palantirs necessarily, and obviously not Musk. That's a different case altogether. But the other traditional big tech, when I say traditional big tech, I mean like these names that we're talking about, the Googles and the Facebooks and the Amazons, and they have actually had a up and down relationship with American government, unlike Boeing. I mean, across the board, it's a bipartisan support for Boeing's